Hi, please click and subscribe if you're happy to support my new channel, FM Wolf. Today I'll just be updating you on my Newcastle that I started, and maybe next time we'll play a game. So here we just see the general club info, basic stuff, and then we'll go on to just seeing where the last divisions were, else they've not done so well. But here you can see that I'm doing not too bad in the first few months. Obviously, we've got kicked out of the cup. But that's not the worst thing. Extra time to focus on the Premier League. So let's get on to finances. Obviously, we've spent a lot of money in the first window, and we're against the financial fair play rules for the European Champions Cup, but we're not in the cup, so that's absolutely fine. But we'll get on to the transfers in a second. So we've had a lot of ingoings and outgoings. So just get past the ones that are default in the game, and we'll get to our first one, which I believe is Phil Jones from Manchester United. Quite an odd one here, but I was going for players that are cheap but good. So then we got Dalmatino, 35 years old. However, this is maybe one that's not worked out so well. He's not doing too bad, but he's our deep line playmaker on defend. Then we've got one that is working out really well, Tyrone Mings from Aston Villa. We did spend quite a bit of money on him, however, not our most expensive transfer. A lot of these deals have clauses for paying over the next few years. We've got a goalkeeper, cheap goalkeeper from Liverpool, just to back up. And then we go on to Gabriel Paulista, the centre back. He has been really good for us so far this season. Quite a bit of money spent on him. Then we have Paco Alcacer. He had a lot of potential a few years back, however. He's not done amazing recently, potentially. Spanish, he's not done too well for us, however. We'll keep playing him and hopefully the form will come. He's a good backup for Callum Wilson. Or even playing alongside Callum Wilson if we're playing two up front. Then we've got Rafinha from Leeds that we paid 60 odd million for, plus Jamal Lewis, the left back, which that paid off really well. He has been one of our outstanding performers, coming in from the left side as an inside forward, I believe I have him playing as, but we'll get to the tactics soon. Then we've got Luis Alberto, the 29-year-old Spanish number 10. He's been really good for us in that number 10 role. Then we got this was a really weird transfer. I got him for $1 million, but I don't have a place for him in my team because I don't play a defensive midfielder, and he's now unhappy about game time. So that was a stupid move on my part. This guy, Woo Young Jong, he has been amazing. I bought him as a sub, but he is worth 60 odd million this game, and he has been one of our best players. I've been bringing him on and been playing him instead of St. Maxim a lot of the time because he's just been playing better. And he's developing quite well as well. And we've got our first team goalkeeper. Well, I've got to try and say his name, but he's been relatively solid for us over the first few games that he's played, and only 7.5 million we paid for him, so quite a bargain as well. Then I don't know what his rules. Here we'll go on to yeah, so he's really quite a goalkeeper there. So onto the outgoings, we've only sold a few players from mine. We've not actually got a lot of sales. It's been mainly incomings, but we have put a lot of players out on loan. We managed to get a wee bit of money for Jamal Lewis, Jamal Lascelles, not Jamal Lewis, Jamal Lascelles, and a bit of money for. I got a bit of money for Almiron. I think we got the most for Almiron. Now on to our tactics. We're playing a 4-2-3-1. I've never been a massive player of 4-2-3-1 because I've always struggled to score. However, we need to be more defensively solid because obviously we're trying to get Newcastle up to the top. And a 4-2-4, as I would usually play with two wingers and two up front, just doesn't seem to work as well in the game now. So I've been playing this formation with Wilson up top, targeting on loan from Aston Villa, and Trippier also signing at the right back. Also got an injury to Lewis Alberto at one left, played only a few weeks, and it's just coming back from injury. We're having quite a lot of good training, especially that winger I was talking about. Not going to butcher his name over and over again. This player, he came up from our youth system, had promoted him, and he's been really good backup to Alberto. Also, we've got a few more players still to clear out and bring backups in for. Dynamics not so good. We've not been able to fix team cohesion yet, but we're getting there. Club atmosphere has been slowly improving, and managerial support they seem to be quite good on. We've got quite good squad hierarchy just now. A few players moved down, but we've got enough players up top to keep us going. Happiness is up and down. We've got a few players still to get to the happy part, but we're getting there. And the first few games, we did draw our first game against West Ham 1-1. Hadn't fully got tactic correct there, so we did change the tactic after that game. Rabina still played well, and so did Target, but on the right side we looked like lacking a bit, and the same with up front. But Wilson had an injury at the start of the season, so wasn't playing, hence why he was not in that game, and I believe that's why we didn't clinch the win. But then we went on to beat Crystal Palace 3-0. With an all-round good team performance. We played St. Al Maximin, I'm butchering names here, up front in that, and he played not too bad, better than Alsacer did in the game before. However, we will get the best out of Alsacer at some point. What's Alberto's goal in that game? His first goal for the club. Then we went on to beat Brentford 2-0. Another all-round performance for a lot of players. We did have a left side lacking there with our two left side players not doing so well in that game. We did lose to Wolves, however, and then a win against Man United, which was a big win for us. Obviously, not how OP Man United are in the game. I am a Man United fan, but I do agree they are overpowered in the game. See this goal from Rafina. He does a lovely turn in this one and just powers into the back of the net. Lovely turn there, powered in. No chance of the hair saving that. And overall we won on the numbers game as well. Apart from we didn't have as many shots, but we had 10 shots on target and we had a higher XG. We then did lose to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and then a loss to Leeds, a draw to Liverpool, a draw to Brighton, but then we beat Aston Villa, lost to Southampton, and then we got a win against Man City, which was a double of the Manchester clubs, which is a good thing. Playing Grealish up front, which is a weird decision. Let's see this goal from Callum Wilson. Back from injury and firing on all cylinders. Yeah, I will slow all those highlights down eventually once I figure out how to sort all this out. Yeah, and then that was our last game played. We will play again the next episode. So got quite a few games left to play. Competitions also were out of the Club World Cup after that defeat against Liverpool. FA Cup hasn't played a game yet, but we're doing well in the league. It's sixth in the league, and fifth in the league. And our media prediction of the league will show up in a second. I believe it was fifth as well. So we're right on target for our media prediction. Data Hub, I've got to say, I'll probably make that looking for just really to see how the general team performance is. We do have this guy in our youth system. He's on loan, but he's not good enough. He's not quite there for being first team quality yet to take over from Callum Wilson. So we'll leave him there and see if we go for him after his loan ends. We do have obligation to buy if we want. Got a few promises going to sell Chris Wood and to get Lucas Leiva, who I was talking about earlier, the more game type. He may not be staying in the club for too long because I don't really have a position for him. As you can see, my manager profile here. I'm not very good at goalkeeping coaching, as we can see there. Alright, well that's almost that for the first video. Obviously just go back, pause where if you want to look at anything in more detail, and I'll hopefully be back in the next week or maybe a few days, depending on work, to see about getting another episode up, and we'll play a few games in that. So if you could please subscribe, click the like button and the notification bar, and I'll see you next time.